guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to bring you a review on the Sally Hansen Airbrush Face Makeup Foundation. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts, please keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I want to touch on is the concept of this product. So it is a spray foundation. So it comes in a little can like this and you're going to shake it up. And then the concept is to spray it on your hand and then put it on your face. It is a very thin formula, as most of these foundations are. I know Dior makes one, which is around $62 on Sephora, and then the Sephora brand also makes one, which is $28. So for this one, I paid $9.97 for this at Walmart, and I got 1 ounce in here. For the Dior one, you pay $62 for 2.3 ounces, and then for Sephora, you pay $28 for 2.5 ounces. So considering this was around $10 for just 1 ounce, it's pretty comparable in price to the Sephora one because you get more product. I mean, you are paying more money, but you get more product. The second thing I want to touch on is the color selection in this line. It comes in 6 different shades and they run very dark. I normally will buy like the lightest or second to lightest shade in a foundation line, and this one I bought the lightest one they had, which was Classic Ivory, but it's not your typical Classic Ivory at all. So I sprayed it on the back of my hand. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it's darker than most Classic Ivories are. So if you're lighter than me, I would suggest not going for this foundation because you're not going to find a color that matches your skin tone. If you are darker, it's nice because they do offer darker colors. And I will also say that they have a very yellow undertone. So if your skin has a more pink undertone to it, I would definitely steer clear from this foundation as well. So my actual thoughts on this. I really wanted to like this foundation. I like the concept of it. I like that it's a spray. I like that it's lightweight. However, I feel like they claimed that this foundation would do a lot, and it did not really hold up to any of the claims. It said that it would be shine free. I have combo to oily skin, and I was very shiny throughout the day when I was wearing this. It said that it evens out skin tone. If anything, I feel like this made my skin tone look extremely uneven. It made it look worse than it normally does when I'm not wearing makeup. It said it minimized the look of pores. Again, I feel like it enhanced my pores. I have really large pores around this area, and even with my Smashbox primer that I always use, I just feel like it really settled into my pores, and it just made them look very noticeable. And it said it was fragrance free. I almost wish that it wasn't fragrance free. I wish they would have added a fragrance because this smells very, very chemically. So it's not like it doesn't have a scent. It just doesn't have a good scent at all. Like they didn't add any fragrance to it. It just smells like chemicals, and I just don't really like that. The directions say to spray it directly into your hands and then apply it on your face with your fingers. I tried that and I didn't really like that. I feel like it just smeared the product around. It didn't really allow the product to soak into my skin. I tried it with a flat top brush like this one from BH right here. And again, I just feel like the brush moved the product around, so it was just moving it around. It wasn't really getting on my skin. My favorite way to wear this foundation or to apply this foundation is to spray it on the back of my hand like I did, and then take my wet sponge from Real Techniques and just dab it on the makeup and then put the makeup on my face. Now, with that being said, that is my favorite way to apply this foundation. However, this is by no means my new favorite foundation. One, I think the price point's a little high. I think $9.97 for 1 ounce is pretty pricey, especially at the drugstore. And if you have any sort of blemish or like uneven texture on your skin, this foundation does not help with that at all. I had a few little dry patches one day and it clung to those dry patches like crazy. It wore off very uneven. I think in order to wear this foundation, you have to have like perfect skin. And I don't know, I think if you want a lightweight foundation, I feel like maybe you should buy a BB cream instead. Or what my favorite trick is to just take a little bit of my foundation and then put some moisturizer in with it, and I can kind of customize my coverage that way. Now I will say that even though this is very light coverage, you can build it up a little. What I did is I, took the product on the sponge, put it on my face, and then I really had to let that layer kind of dry first and then go in with a second layer. It did not look cakey, I will say that, it didn't at all, but I don't know who has time to put foundation on, sit here and wait for it to dry, and then go in with another layer of it. And then I still had to use a generous amount of concealer on my blemishes and things. So overall, I wasn't a huge fan of this foundation. I really wanted to like it because I love the concept of it, but I just wasn't a fan. Now I haven't tried the Dior because that's, like I said earlier, $62. I probably will never try that in my life. So I haven't tried that one, and I also haven't tried the Sephora brand one, but maybe they're better than this, but I just would say if you see this and you think, oh, that's really cool, I would just go ahead and skip out on it. So those are my thoughts on the Sally Hansen Airbrush face makeup. If you guys have tried this foundation, let me know what you thought about it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Hansen. Oh my God. My bracelet stuck to my shirt. Those are my thoughts. So if you are fairer,